What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. Sorry for the late video, but it's been a while since I've made a video on YouTube, and I've got a ton of stuff to catch up with you guys. We had the Web3 Secret Society private live stream earlier today, so I sort of want to come in here, give you guys an update, and also tell you that we're going to have our weekly AMA on Friday, where we're going to go into some more details and actually do a raffle for the ZeroL Airdrop giveaway. But we got so much to get through. Let's get into it. Just remember, nothing I say is financial advice. Please do your own research because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube. But if you want extra coaching, guidance, and support, we do have the Web3 Secret Society. Links to that are in the description below. So the first thing I want to do is just kick this video off by thanking Taiki. So Taiki is a content creator who I've been watching since the last cycle. I was fortunate enough to be called out as one of the newer channels that he likes. It's gotten me a ton more people following me on Twitter. So Taiki, appreciate you so much. Thank you for sort of recognizing me. Obviously I see Crypto Cove here, which is great, and some others who I'm not as familiar with, but I'll have to check them out because, Taiki does have a good eye. One thing that I like to do is watch his crypto market wizards. So he brings some experts on here to talk a bit about the market. I've learned a lot by watching this series. In fact, I was watching it just maybe a few days ago before he posted this. So once again, thank you. And I put the link to his channel in the description if you want to check it out. I think it's worthwhile to do that. So the first thing I want to talk about is the ZeroL Airdrop. The ZeroL Airdrop went live earlier this week. And as you guys know, I shared on, I think, Twitter that I basically was going to give away half of my airdrop. 30% of it goes to Web3 Secret Society members, 20% for an NFT raffle. As you guys know, we got the real eigenlayer paradox, that, I don't know, I won't say famous meme, but basically I capped the minters and I capped the time. So we got 100 minters on this. 2 minters will be fortunate enough to win 10% each of the ZeroL airdrop. And just so you guys know, there's really 2 pieces to this. The first part of the airdrop was the 40% that got unlocked right away. I got like $322 for it. Not bad. Obviously, it didn't end up being that much, but so far that means 10% is $32. And then we get the last 60%, which is vesting over 182 days. So we'll see how that goes for the 303K. Hopefully the price of that goes up because maybe we'll have some uplift in the bull market. And sort of the reason I say all this is you just take a look at the price, right? This is something that we've pretty much gotten very accustomed to. Every single time a token launches, you just see this huge wick down. And the main reason for this is we just don't have the buyers in the market to sop up all of the tokens that keep coming out. If every project is having a token, who exactly is buying them? Whales aren't buying them. You find that most of us aren't buying them, and the stupid money's not really around to buy them. So what happens? Well, the tokens dump, and we're at a certain point, people start getting a little more bullish because the market cap becomes something a little more reasonable. But ZeroL was sort of kind of got hurt that way. And for those of you who haven't claimed, when you go and claim by going to the dashboard on ZeroL and sort of hitting the claim button, which you see here is already claimed. I put the link in the description below. Then what you do is go to Linex, and you can trade your Zero token for USDC, and this is on the Manda Network. So pretty self-explanatory. That's not bad. Now, the other airdrop that sort of went live as well 2 days ago on Tuesday was the Mode airdrop. So, guys, I am not too proud to say that I was wrong about this one. I stopped putting too much effort into Mode halfway through. I mean, even more than halfway through, probably in the first 1/4 of the time that this went live. As you guys know, I made one of the first videos on Mode, also a couple $100, showing you guys how to bridge ETH out, did not know that, clearly I didn't know what was going on because I signed a contract that basically made it so that I had to do multiple steps and whatever, versus using a third-party bridge, which came out a few days later. Now, I was afraid of Mode because I thought that because we had to use VPN to access it, which I've never had to do before, And the one times I did, I basically got hit with a KYC wall. Well, in this case, I said, well, maybe they're going to force that too. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to do it as much. But the airdrop sort of came and went on March 7th, right? So I went and checked my points. I'm in the top 2,000 wallet. So basically, I get an additional bonus, which is the 50% mode at launch, 50% after 90 days. Some people are staking it. I mean, you can definitely do that if you want to. Obviously, with all airdrops, you're going to have people who aren't happy, right? So if you went in and claimed it, I think for the most part, the liquidity when it got added to Kim Exchange, it didn't really move the needle that much. So when you look at the price for mode, it was straight up and straight down, but it's really sort of traded sideways ever since. It's just not as volatile anymore. But it is very interesting to see an FDV of 521.16 million for mode, right? So pretty wild to have a valuation that low. In fact, as I read this, I'm kind of surprised because I don't think this should be this case. I think market cap should be 521, but I think the FDV, because they do have more mode tokens coming out, so maybe that shouldn't be the case. Now, obviously, you can go in Kim Exchange and make the swap, and that's sort of what I did. Some of you may be wondering, well, can I take out this airdrop? What can I do with my funds? Well, turns out that the team had done a snapshot in the first week of May, and basically, if you bridge off any of those tokens, you may not receive the full credit for later on in the vesting period. And basically, what you should know, however, is does not apply to the mode that you've earned in the airdrop, because that was not part of the snapshot. So if you're interested, from what I understand, anyways, you can withdraw from mode as long as it's sort of the airdrop piece that you got versus sort of other assets. If you do that, it's going to punish you. Now, the next thing I want to remind you guys about is Sanctum. This is something that I brought to your attention probably like 2 weeks ago, but I covered their Wonderland as well, which I thought was very important. They've also recently partnered with Sanctum Soul and sort of the Switchboard. Switchboard did it with Sanctum Soul. There's potential rumors of an airdrop for holding this token. Now, one more thing here is there are community quests, and the Sanctum team is already starting to tease quest 2. They're like posting, are we ready? Are we ready? Because we are 6 billion tokens away, or 6 billion experience away, from getting this first bonus. And that first bonus is a 4x multiplier on any INF tokens, right? It's called Infinity because that's the pet. These pets don't really exist, so I just view this as INF and JupSoul. As you guys know, my strategy was really around getting a big position in both Inf or Infinity and JupSoul, and everything else having point to Solana. So that was sort of the plan there. Kyle Loren, I see you. How you doing? What is also interesting is CC2 Ventures has sort of gone on his hero arc, optimistic arc, basically saying that Jito had 400 or less than 400 million TVL when the snapshot occurred, and it was the most cleanest and most lucrative airdrops for shrimps, which is people who don't have as much money. Sanctum is 531 million, no snapshot in sight, but obviously it's hard to make the same comparison because they weren't as many people in the space. So obviously it's more diluted now, but he does agree with the way to qualify. So he says, hey, you can just buy INF, hold in your wallet, or deposit that into Camino or MarginFi, show your referral link. I think a lot of people are sort of starting to do what I was doing, which is put majority of your SOL into INF, then buy a few SOL of each list. Sort of this is way better. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Versus going in and sort of doing like the DLMM pools and stuff on Meteora, I say no thanks. So that's sort of really cool here. If you guys want more information, I've linked my guide for Sanctum below. So hopefully that helps you out. The next thing I want to talk about is CTIS. So CTIS is a basic workout technology. And in this case, you can actually kind of work out to win or work out to earn, right? And this actually reminds me a lot about a project called Step N that was created in the last cycle, and it did very well because basically you built up your sneaker or whatever. You used these things to level the sneaker up, and those sneakers could go far distances, and you would get paid for walking. That was kind of the idea here. What CTIS is doing is it's basically like an Oura ring. So for those of you who heard of the Oura ring, it's just a smart ring that can get you some metrics and everything like that. I love this. I have an Oura ring, and I'm really excited by the fact that you have a sort of train to earn program. And in the same case here, monitor your sleep, strain, recovery, and more. And it's kind of like, it's not done by the Solana team, but it has a strong connection. So I think this part is cool. I'm excited to get it. I have ordered my ring. And sort of, I do like a lot of the things I'm seeing here. Now, the other thing that you should know is, if we think about it, right? So Solana Mobile, those who signed up for that have more than paid for this phone. In fact, for me, I've made more than double my original investment on the Solana Mobile 2. Just with the meme tokens, it's airdropping. And with CTIS, they're doing the same thing. There's going to be reward points for token airdrops. So we should see some partnerships and stuff like that. Hopefully it's not just the token airdrops directly with CTIS, because I think there's a couple things going well for it. Number one, the narrative of Solana, as you guys know. Number two, wearable technology, highly adopted, hard to get. Right now, the price is only 1 SOL, and that's only for the first 1,500. So if you're interested, like I said, not financial advice. This is a speculative bet on my part. I am doing this as a proxy for a meme coin, basically. But I think that this is a way higher likelihood of doing well than not. So that's why I am basically talking about it. I think it's really good. Like I said, you don't have to use my referral link if you don't want to. I have put that in the description, but yeah, I think it's a really cool initiative. So I think the Oura ring is pretty good too, but this is what's up. Now, the next thing here I want to talk about is ImaginaryOnes. So ImaginaryOne and is sort of the creators of Bubble Range, and like they're the $ bubble we were posting for a while. Well, they released their white paper, or light paper, let's just call it. And in there, you can actually see how they're going to reward users. So we scroll all the way down here past their brand memberships. We can see here, let's just keep going, the bubble coin. So staking, governance, platform payments, and exclusive access. We see here 30% is community incentives, 23% is ecosystem. And basically, each of them has their own sort of vesting period to make sure the token doesn't just dump, which is not a bad idea, right? So what happens here is you could have one of 2 NFTs, well, actually one of 3 NFTs. The ImaginaryOne NFT is like a profile picture of sorts. It costs 1.6 ETH. I was like, no thanks. I ended up buying the imaginary rides, which was 0.1 ETH or 0.11 ETH. So I will be getting a 10,101 bubble token thing, plus some bonuses for staking it and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff they didn't tell you. Like, if you unstaked during that period of time when we were doing snapshot, you were just I think you were not counted or something like that. But I think it's really cool. It's very nice to see that this is moving very well along. This is the best SocialFi project I've seen so far, because it actually feels much more real. Now, if you are interested, I have put the link to where you can find an imaginary ride in the Discord. They'll let you know when the snapshot is taken for that. If you've gotten multiples of it, there's a big bonus there. So check that out. The next thing I want to talk about is something that Ron from Box Mining put up here. But I saw a lot of people posting about it, but when I was trying to make the video, I couldn't find it, even when you type in ZKS and Satori Finance. But basically, I think they may have jumped the gun a bit on sort of doing a listing, right? Because they're probably expecting it to be on the horizon, and this is sort of being somewhat of the suspicion. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock, or you haven't been really busy, you probably saw this. And for the first time, I think this is very close to probably what it would be, because just of the way it reads. You guys remember I dismissed all of the previous ones because I said, hey, like, very unlikely. I mean, there's a small chance, but not really, in my opinion. What was very neat was, when we were with the Web3 Sticker Society, I went through and compared sort of what they're asking for with what was in here. And what was in here was very nice, because like, okay, cool. Aim to have your activity spread across at least 8 months. Well, here they're saying, okay, great. You have 50 per month with a max of 400. So that's 8 months. And if you did all your transactions in 48 hours, you get screwed again. So a lot of the things in here were captured exactly by my sheet. Obviously, this is really a learning from Arbitrum, not something that I've innovated myself. So if you haven't already, go in and check your ZK Sync airdrop rank. I think it's very interesting. And I do, like I said, I do think that this has a high likelihood of being real. just because of all of the stuff in here. A lot of the fakes are really bad fakes. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. We'll find out. One more thing I would recommend you do is not just using NFT Copilot, but also using Wenzer. Wenzer will let you see sort of unique days. I didn't get to 100 unique days, so kind of ouch, but whatever. That's some money that you leave on the table. The next update I have for you is Manda Network. Manda Network is actually another roll app that's going to support Dimension stakers. Not a surprise, right? And basically, they have their tiering here, and I think it'll be interesting to sort of get this going. There was some pushback from Mandy or to Mandy, and basically, there was this whole thing on like implementing a square root distribution method to sort of make it so that people didn't just get overinflated numbers. And basically, you see here, like there's reward for dim stakers, 10%, 2 months, unlocked at launch. So, sorry, not 2 months, 2 million. But yeah, pretty cool. I think that's really nice. Dimension just keeps on paying. Okay. And finally, not finally, but one of the last updates I want to give you is on the Zeta community airdrop. So there is a new initiative, which is for the next couple of days, you've got to sign in and actually pick which your team is. So you can start with Jupiter, Pyth, Debridge, Mad Labs, Super Team, Acid Dash, or Tensorians. I could do Jupiter or Debridge. Can't do Pyth, can't do the others because, hey, just don't qualify for it. But what you have to do is you go into the website that I've linked. So here's what I saw when I tried to stake or when I tried to put my allegiance to Jupiter. I hit OK, proceed. Once you've done that, great. You pledge your alliance to Jupiter community, and then you can go into the actual website and trade. So if you wanted to, when you go to Zeta, at the top, there's a trade button, and that's sort of what we use. So like right here, right? So I'm going to start doing that here as well, just to start farming this and sort of not just doing it on Jupiter by itself. And finally, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is Avail. So Avail is that sort of spinoff from Polygon, which is one of their creators went over to Avail with another high-ranking member of their team. Well, phase 2 launches now. So, I mean, like I said, I always tell people, even if you think this doesn't qualify for you, just go in and check. There's no harm. I already went in and sort of connected and signed all this stuff. Nothing for me here, but once again, good opportunity. Tons of great stuff. Tons of ways we're going to see people get rewarded. And guys, one of the things that we've really got to be appreciative of, I see this in the comments right now by Team Gaming, because I covered this actually in the private live stream earlier. We should be super happy that what ZK Sync did is actually very, very smart, because by doing a cap of 2,500, they make it so whales just can't blow stuff up and really make so that other users get nothing. Obviously, what sucks here is if they knew ahead of time, they would have gamed it, and you would have seen way more transactions spread across because they were able to sort of get a fine-tuned time. But we don't know. Kai Lauren, yes, I did buy a Solana Mobile. Chapter 2 was really very well worth it. I remember Interact had mode NFT after completing. No news about it. I think that was just on-chain activity, which really hasn't done anything, which is kind of annoying and kind of why I don't like Interact. Jeff Sparrow got ZeroL Airdrop from Zero Land. Yikes. Put my liquidity where best to farm Linnea XP. I mean, you could probably go into Avail if you want to and do that. There is a Nile, which we did talk about it in today's live stream, and that was around. You can put either 5 there or get your either 5 points, get your Nile points, which not even points, they come in tokens, right? So you can sell right away and also sort of have that. So probably the last thing I'll say over here is Salventi's asking, got 10 or so Merkley bridges on layer 0, but I have well over 100 solid bridges over 3 years. Hard to tell, no idea, but I personally am not going to be reporting myself. That's a decision you have to make. Honestly, there's a solid way to argue it, exactly based on this. So 10 or so Merkley bridges, who cares? I think I had 18% of my layer 0 transactions were Merkley, but so be it. I wasn't trying to abuse the system and whatever else. So, should be good. But yeah, I've taken all my funds out of ZeroL ever since. So I think, it's great that that's the case. But, one of the things that I, do recommend is, guys, make sure you make sure you're staying on top of like the airdrops, you're claiming them. And if you didn't put enough in, doesn't mean that project's a scam. It just means there are too many people. And we got to stop this sort of self-victimization culture where like people are like, well, I got scammed because didn't get more than $50 when I put in 5. So kind of that's how I feel about it. Anyways, guys, we will have an AMA on Friday. It's like 3 a.m. here, so I'm going to go to bed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.